Live from Houston, Texas. Welcome everyone to today's episode of What Makes You Tick. As always, I'm excited that you're here for number 37. This is going to be the last one of this season. So I'm extremely excited about the season that we've had and that I've been able to share this with you and my guest. And today I have an awesome guest or guests. You'll understand that in a minute. But before we dive in, just a few quick housekeeping notes to make this a great experience for everyone. Today, like I said, I'm excited for the guests that we have, guests being plural, but yet we only see one face. We'll talk about that. This is an interactive live session, so you're encouraged to participate and connect and ask questions any way you can. To ask a question, drop it in the chat. It'll bring key insight into our conversation, and we'll try to answer the best that we can and help you out. We'll use LinkedIn's DM in the comment section of the events posting for any comments or for any behind the scenes coordination. So feel free to message us and we'll get to your question or your issue. If you get disconnected, simply rejoin. LinkedIn will occasionally bump users. It'll be great to have you back. We know many of you are listening while commuting, although today's President's Day, so you may be done, or you're working. So please engage however you can. Even if you're listening to this on a recording, drop us a message afterwards into the posting. Whatever you can do, we'd love to get back to you. Thanks again for being here. Now let's get started. My guests today are proof that the strongest businesses are built on trust, clarity, and the right partnership. As co-founders of Houston Apparel Company, two leaders who started on parallel paths, lived in the same neighborhood, and then realized that their strengths were better together. What began as sharing a quick vision quickly turned into a fast-growing company serving apparel, promotional products, and PPE across multiple industries. One brings deep experience in branding, strategic merchandising, and corporate growth across the energy markets, plus podcasting and business development within oil and gas, the oil and gas global network. The other comes from over decades in mission-driven marketing, communication, and building brands in private education and entrepreneurship while navigating leadership. They meet where trust, clarity, and values get tested fast. Today, Houston Apparel Company operates through two focused divisions. Together, they blend creativity and operational depth, providing that when trust and purpose lead, traction will follow. We're diving into partnership, value-driven growth, and what it really takes to build brands. Join me as we discover what makes Vanessa Homewood and what should have been Jada Powell, who had an accident or had an emergency and could not join us. So Vanessa's going to act as two of them. So Vanessa, man, it's awesome to have you here. And I'm excited to share the story that you have. But first, let's tell the audience what makes you tick.
Hey, Bryan, good to be on the show. Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here. So as you mentioned, I am one of the halves of the Houston Apparel Company, and I represent our small business division. So we, as you mentioned, we have branded apparel, merchandise, custom branding, anything you need to help your business grow. That is what we can help you with. One of my passions is designing, coming up with ideas, shopping for you. So I really enjoy all that kind of stuff. So I'm here to help. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. All right. So how did you get into, well, let's backtrack before you and Jada got together. How did you get in this path to start?
Well, it's part of the story that we're going to talk about later, where we talk about adversity later. Sometimes you take jobs and you work through them and you find out they're exactly what you want when you land them, because you're at a certain season in your life and everything's great, and then all of a sudden things change and you're maybe not as happy, or the work isn't as fulfilling, or you're not able to really do what you really thought you were going to be able to do. Couple job changes and just kind of realizing that my talents lie somewhere else and could be better utilized for myself to share with other people, and kind of drive my own business and my own branding and my own communications, which I have found to be more fulfilling and more effective. I can remember nights in my last jobs where I would just be up late trying to get something done and stressing, I've got to get this deadline, I've got to get this done. And I was doing it so somebody else could get paid. Sure, I was getting a paycheck, but it was to help. It wasn't directly impacting me as far as like, this is my work, it's my name on it, and I'm going to get paid for this, and it's going to feel so great. It was just like, okay, done, on to the next thing. Here's your paycheck, moving on, and it just wasn't as fulfilling. And so there's still nights where I'm up late doing work, but it's so much more fulfilling because then it's done and it's mine and I can put it out there, and it's, whatever I make on it is directly because I did it, Right. And so going into my own business was kind of like more appealing to me as I was losing interest in the job I had. And it was working out for us personally, for me to go ahead and take a step back from the 9 to 5 and take a chance. Mm-hmm. And that's when I met Jada and was like kind of missing like the confidence and like just the person that it's scary to do it on your own. Right. Absolutely. And so at that point in my life, when I met her, it was all like, yeah, this could help like get me launched into what I need to get. And I think, as she's told me before, she saw the same in me. She was kind of in the same situation. We both had side businesses, boutiques. Well, hers was full-time. She was doing that from COVID. She began doing jewelry making and kind of going into sales as well. And I was more of the boutique, women's fashion, hats, denim, jackets, blazers, blouses, and I was telling Bryan earlier, it would scratch my itch to shop because I would promote things to shop for that I wanted. And I would tell myself, okay, if I sell like 3 of these, I can buy myself one. And so I would spend every last penny, but it was my side hustle. And it was fun to talk about at my real job. Like, people would be like, where'd you get that top? I'd be like, well, it's actually from my boutique. And they'd be like, I want one. So I would be like a walking billboard of my merch, just wearing what I wore every day. So again, a way to justify all my shopping. I was like, I have to wear this or my customers won't know it exists, So anyways, I met Jada and we had talked about wanting to do something different, scale and make this more to where it was a full-time career. And we found that kind of passion in each other and in the opposite strengths. And so we decided to do it. We jumped in, we met for an hour at Starbucks and kind of brainstormed, and we were like, let's do it. So it was a big amount of trust at that moment to go in with somebody that you really knew nothing about. Right. I kind of liken it to the 90 Day Fiance or whatever, that show, Love at First Sight. Like you take a risk, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And there definitely are challenges. And I'm sure we will face our own and start growing. And who knows if we grow together, grow apart, we each branch off into our own thing eventually. One day, who knows? But for now, we are, for the past 19 months, we have focused on building this company together and really played off of each other's strengths and both kind of made a name for ourselves. So whatever we choose to do to get, if we choose to be apart in the future, we'll have the tools and we'll have all of the knowledge that we built from each other. But yes, it's a lot of trust. There's a lot, you get the traction you need, but then sometimes you have to step back and be like, okay, this isn't working. How are we going to readjust? And then we go down another path. So yes, long story long, we met and we decided we could do this together. And here we are.
All right. I know that cracks me up. So, okay. If were you in corporate America before?
I was in private education, so I worked at private schools. Yeah. Okay. Two private schools. I did communications. First, I did admissions, so that was a lot of sales. That was a lot of enrollment, and that was tough. It got really tough, and that was going into COVID. And then selling school after COVID was almost impossible. So then this other job came open at another school. It's more communications based and more marketing and designing. That's what I really wanted to do, is use the creative side. And that's what this was. It was more like creating content and newsletters and sending communications to the school. And so I went ahead and took that position, and then that one changed as well. It just became something totally different. Right. And it was time to move on. So then I was off for a while, and then, like I said, my husband was like, well, you have a great idea with this boutique, but you just need to kind of do it the right way. Like, if you want to do this full time, we can work together to do this full time. But I didn't really want to do a business with him. I was like, I don't really want to do a business with you. And then that's when I met Jada, and I was like, yeah, I can get on board with doing a business with her. So, so we decided to go ahead and start.
So what's it like? I mean, going from, because I had to go back to teaching, and I spent 20 years teaching, and then got out into the private sector or the public sector. Really enjoyed what I did. Tried to become an entrepreneur. That didn't work out. I'm not sure if it was personality, business, me, whatever. But we met in a networking event because that's what we both did. But what's it like going from that segment to becoming an entrepreneur? Was it something that you thought you would ever do? But what's that like?
No, never thought it. I never had the confidence, never was. It was completely different. It was terrifying, but it was like, okay, now's the chance. It's now or never.
Yeah.
And I've known people that have had their own businesses. I've met people, and I'm like, if they can do it, surely I can do it. I had the tools, I have the support, which is huge. Having support at home to do this is 100% necessary. If you don't have support at home to start your own business, it's not going to work. It's not going to work at all. It's not going to work for anybody. And so, I've seen that firsthand with other people. And so that is something I'm extremely fortunate about, and so, and then I have friends and family that do major parts of business. So they can give me advice on accounting, on legal, on all the things that I needed. So I ran it past everybody. Like, what do you think? What do you think? They're all like, yes, absolutely. You can do this. You can. And my husband's been my biggest cheerleader, the biggest supporter, my biggest little shoulder, telling me like, this is probably not a good business decision. Like, you need to rethink this. And so it's been really helpful. And so, we actually would be great going into business together. So
yeah.
So that's really helpful. So it's just terrifying. But like I said, if you have the confidence, or the people that help you kind of build that confidence, give you that clarity really, and kind of help you see like what you're missing, because you only see what's right in front of you, like the terrifyingness of like, I'm going to fail. This isn't going to work. I'm going to do terrible. But if you meet people that kind of build you up and show you like, you actually can, you have the tools, you just need to kind of point in this direction and go that way. And networking has been extremely efficient and helpful. Like lots of advice, lots of connections being made. I mean, I would have never thought. I looked at networking totally different before I started my own company. I thought it was like hard sale. You go meet people. Let me tell you about what I do. But I learned very quickly it's more about just building a network and connections. And so meeting people to tell me like, that's not really how you network. Like, this is really what you should do. And then just kind of watching people, and then it's helped quite a bit. So it was scary, but I had the right recipe to kind of take off. And so it worked out for me. Would it have worked out 5 years ago? I don't know. I'm not sure, but it was the right timing for me. And I was very lucky that it worked out at the time.
Gosh, and you referred to networking. Networking is important when you're kind of a solopreneur or an entrepreneur, or you've got something that you're building, and understanding it is important. I'm with you, like, because we both gone to Kepajoy. We love it. We have the one up here, and the biggest difference between that and some of the other ones I started going to, and you may have the same experience, is that people tried to sell you. And I'm like, I don't want you to sell me. I don't want to hear your pitch. Let's build a relationship, because I'm not the one that may be able to buy it, but my network might have something that I can connect you to. And if you're the right person, I'll put you on the line. If not, then I'm going to go right past you.
Yeah. And I never knew that either until I started. And people actually I watched. Basically, if you're new to networking, I would say go and just people watch, just observe, introduce yourself, see what they're telling you, just listen. And then your next one kind of then think about how you're going to meet people. And, just listening to other people and what they have to offer. And then you say, you know what, I know this person, they actually need this service. Let me connect you. And off they go. Yeah. And that's really like fulfilling as well, and it comes around tenfold. It always does. So.
Agreed. And I got more out of that, being able to connect others. And that's why I like this show, because it gives people a platform to be able to tell their story and talk about what they do and how they can make an impact with others. But speaking of that, I mean, you're obviously chasing your dreams right now, or at least you're chasing a dream. All right. So if I'm wanting to be an entrepreneur, or I'm just somebody that's chasing that dream, no matter what age I'm at, what would you tell them? What advice would you get it to help them make it a reality?
Oh, goodness. Well, like I said, the support, you have to have the support. If you have no support, you need to kind of find the support or wait until you have the support. That is the number one thing I think that you need to have, because the first year, 18, 19 months, 20 months of a new business is stressful. It's bootstrapping, it's sweating, it's all the things, like staying up late at night and crying and all the things like, oh my gosh, this isn't going to work. So if you have that support, you can get through anything. You don't really need to have like everything lined up A to B or, A to Z, because you'll never get started. It's like planning a family. When they say, when are you going to have kids? Well, when I have a job, when I have this, when I have that, like you can't, it's never going to line up. So you have to be ready, figure out what's the most important things that need to be taken care of, and then make the jump if you're ready. But you can't wait to have all the things lined up. I mean, Jada and I used to laugh because we would just fail. We would talk about, oh no, we made a mistake. We failed this, and it was like, well, we're just going to learn from that and move on. Like, whatever happened, make it right for the customer, move on. And we learn. We're going to fail fast, but we're going to just keep moving. And so we have made several, oopsies here and there, and had to redo an entire order and take it on the chin. And, it's like, okay, well, we made a mistake. Sorry, we're going to make it right. And that's the customers that keep coming back. They're the ones that were like, we made it right for them. They're happy. You're
building the relationship. Yeah, absolutely.
So it's okay. And then you have to give yourself some grace, and you definitely, to start a new business, need to give yourself a lot of grace. But I would not say go into something if you're drowning already in other things. Like, you need to at least be kind of clear, have that clarity of like, this is what I want. This is my end goal. This is the high level, how I'm going to get there. And then once you have that kind of outlined, I think then I would start taking the risks. Otherwise, if you have too much going on, personally at home or whatever, financially, it's probably not the best time.
No, and I'm laughing at you. You were talking about if you wait until you have everything aligned, then it's never going to work. Look, I remember, and I'm laughing because this has a parallel to business. I decided when I got divorced, I wasn't necessarily going to date. I wanted to get my life together because it was already a mess. So then I decided to get a new job. But, I dated for a little while and got a new job. And I really wanted to focus on my job. And then we became an entrepreneur, want to focus on that and really be there for my kids. I said, once my kids are out of the house, I'll start dating. They've been gone for 2 years. I still hadn't started dating. Because it's hard. A business is exactly the same thing. It's, you got to go and get in and get out there and start going and go, hey, I'm going to learn as I go. And trust has to be a big piece of this. Correct? I think I lost you. For some reason, the sound cut out.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Yeah.
Okay. Something's on my phone that says I'm talking through my phone through my AirPods. I have no idea. So I'm just going to leave my phone right there. I saw a screen and I hit exit and I think I disconnected it. So I'm going to leave it right there. Actually, give me a second. I'll let my dog out. He's barking at me. He wants to get out of my room.
Hey, look, when you have a podcast, you never know what's going to happen on this thing because everything's live. So look, just real quick, as far as in the process that you're building and chasing your dream, I mean, trust has to be huge. Right. It
does. Yeah. And then you're going to trust people that you shouldn't have, and you're going to make those mistakes and learn from them. But you have to have people that you trust and advice that they can give you, and definitely helps you.
No, and I'm looking at, I'm thinking, I had this discussion with several people the last week for relationships, for business, for friendships. Trust is huge because sometimes you just have to, you trust people and you get bitten, or you trust a situation is going to happen and you get bitten. But what that really does is show you, one, what you know or what you don't know. And two, it shows you who a person really is or what a situation truly is. So the trust piece, even though you might get bitten from it, is not something that we should hold against ourselves, but it looks like it's a learning opportunity. And but it's something that you have to have when you're building a business. You have to be able to trust yourself. You have to be able to trust your partner. You have to be able to trust your vendors. You have to, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's we've had orders come in where people have found us online through Google and they wanted to order like $5,000 to $10,000 worth of merch, and we're like, is this real? Like, I don't want to order all this merch until they pay me and their check clears, and make sure that, because you just never know. It's
Right.
so much out there. But there have been a few times where we've like, it's been like, it's not going to make it in time, their payment, we have to get this ordered. In order for them to get it in time, we want to make this a customer, we're going to take a risk. So we've done all of our due diligence, all of our research, and then just try to trust that this is all going to work out. And luckily it all has, but there are times where you're like, oh my gosh, am I going to trust this? This is going to happen?
Yes.
And
Yes.
Or am I just like, is this too good to be true? Should I just take a step back and let this one go if it goes?
Yeah.
But lots of business decisions are based on trust, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. Well, okay. So we're getting close to the end of the first segment, but I always end the first segment with a book. I'm going to let my guests go first, as always. Tell me about your book, because I know you said this one changed your life, and I'm interested. I want to know.
Well, okay. As a parent of young children or going into their teenage years, I found this book called Untangled by Lisa Demure, and it is about raising teenage girls. And it is impossible to navigate parenting without all of the effects of social media and cell phones and mean girls and all the things. Like, that is something that we are faced with all the time. And it's a different time than we were kids. I mean, I'm not that old, but it is a totally different time from when we were kids.
Yes.
And so I read this book, and it has been so amazing to see everything that she kind of outlined in the beginning, like how this is your daughter's teenage experience is going to be, and things that you're going to run into have happened. It's almost textbook. And I'm just like, oh, wow. Okay. This is what I need to do in this point. This is why she's treating me this way. This is why she's acting this way. Like, and kind of how I need to kind of give her space. And because I would not know what to do. And so this has helped build my relationship with my daughter and made it very strong, and to where we can communicate, and I understand what she's going through, and I can give her the space she needs to kind of grow. And so I feel like I've been so lucky to parent her. We have our moments. Just before she ran out for volleyball, she had a meltdown or a freak out because we got her brother a smoothie and not her today, but yet she was at a friend's house all day today and her brother was stuck at home all day. So I was like, I don't see the problem. But anyway, she left. She's like, bye, Mom, I love you. I'm like, okay, get over it. But, so this book has been really great. And a lot of people will reach out to me, my friends' moms, and be like, oh my God, why is my daughter acting like this? I'm like, let me tell you about this book I read. And so, and they're like, I got to check it out. So I've promoted this book all the time to my mom friends, because I feel like it's really helpful. And a couple of them have come back to me and been like, wow, you were right. That's exactly what the problem was. I'm like, I know. So, yes, I think it's definitely been a game changer for me. It's very, very much helped my parenting style.
Yeah.
But then, so definitely recommend it to anybody with young teenage girls. My son's only 10. It's called Untangled.
Untangled. Okay, got it. I've heard it.
Yeah, Lisa Demure. But I have a young boy. He's 10. So I'm trying to find a good book to help me with raising teenage boys. So I've yet to find the right one. So I'm out there looking. But this one was, I probably am going to listen to it again, actually. But it was good. I listened to it when she was really young. And I was in the car and I was crying. I was like, this can't be it. My daughter would never treat me this way. And I can't believe I'm going to have to let her go one day. She's going to go to college. And then it's all happening. But it's good.
It's crazy. No, mine are gone. And it's like, I was sitting out in the garage the other day and going, holy crap, they've been gone for a year and a half. How did that happen? Where did they go? Because they just graduated and they're gone. I'm like, wow. No, it's
I can't imagine. I still, I think about my daughter leaving now. She's 14. I'm like, I know she's not leaving now, but I think about it and I'm just like a mess. But they say that teenagers become rotten because you're like, okay, go. Like, let me get you off. You can leave. Like,
No, so the book I want to spotlight real quick is called AI Driven Leader by George Woods. And what it really does is it challenges leaders from fearing AI and start using it as a strategic think partner, which is funny because I had a conversation today in my class and I'm teaching and they're telling us not to use AI and I'm like, hold on. No, it's not about not using AI. It's about being able to use it because it helps to amplify your judgment. It helps to accelerate decision making. It helps to do things that you might be very weak at. The problem comes in when all you do is copy and paste it,
Yeah.
because then it's not you thinking, that is AI thinking for you. But if
Right.
you can use it, it's a great book that helps with strategy, technology. It basically helps with strategy first and technology second. And it allows you to learn, which most people are missing. For first of all, AI is very strategic. It's a strategic ally. It's not a threat, is one of the things that he points out. Two, that it's better questions create better outcomes and sometimes better conversations. So being able to have a partner that you can go back and forth actually helps you to develop and to learn on your own, but it can also strengthen some of your weaknesses. Another thing he points out is that leadership is about clarity, which I'm laughing because that's my line, and it's not about busyness. So AI isn't replacing the leaders; it's actually sharpening their skills. It's turning better questions into faster decision making and helping it be a little bit clearer. And it can create a long-term advantage. It's a really good book because it talks about how you prompt and how you have conversations with AI back and forth and how to best utilize it to become a better leader. So it's one of those things that I really like and that I really want to focus on. But today, what we're focusing on, this is my 37th podcast, and it's the end of season 1. It'll be the last one of season 1. I'll repost a lot of these between now and the time I start so that it won't go away, and that if you miss something, you can regain. But What Makes You Tick is an authentic, relaxed, purposeful conversation on trust, clarity, and traction within our lives. It's to help incorporate your purpose within what you do and to make an impact in your life and others' lives. We do this by sharing business and personal stories on building a culture of trust, creating clearly impactful message for leaders and as a leader, and giving insight into how this can build traction within your life. So today, my guest is Jada and Vanessa. Well, just Vanessa. Jada's here with us in spirit through Vanessa. So look, thank you. Look, I want to take that book. I want to use our second segment to delve a little bit into technology, kind of what you're seeing on your side. How do you use it for your business? But right now, I mean, we know that trust, and this conversation is built on trust, but technology sometimes, as important it is to our business, it can also take away from trust, or it can lead to a situation where we may not trust it. What about you? Have you seen anything within your business where it does, one, it adds value, and two, it helps to build the trust versus what a lot of us think? Not just AI, but technology.
Well, I mean, technology itself we would be dead in the water without it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we couldn't have this conversation, right?
Correct.
So absolutely, technology is something that it continues to grow. My husband's career is in technology, so that is something that is very prevalent in our household and in our lives. So AI as a tool for me was scary at first. Like, I didn't trust it, right? I didn't know about it, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to use it. And I was like, this is going to take away my job, because I was communications. I was writing emails and writing for all of a whole school. And it was kind of like a bad word, and then as I went into my own business and I started hearing more about how it could help small business owners kind of cut your work in half sometimes, I started to look more into it. And then I realized what a helpful tool it was. And I can't go through my day without not using it, I can't do my job without using it. So I have to write website product descriptions. I have to write things that are enticing, marketing material that people are like, it'll grab their attention. So it can help me generate some buzzwords or things, give me ideas for, like, if I'm stuck. Sometimes I get writer's block or creator block, and I'm just like, I don't know what to design. Like, I'm stuck. And just kind of type in, give me some ideas, like give me some visuals or some ideas that I can just kind of start building on. I used to use Google for that kind of stuff, like just Google it and like see what, but now I get a little bit more information from AI. And then my husband showed me, you can run this, if you say you write a whole letter in AI and you're like, this sounds too AI, like I can't send this. You can put it in an AI detector and it'll tell you like, what's the words that you shouldn't be using. And so it helps you kind of break that down. Like, okay, I can use this, but I need to change these things about it to make it sound less AI-y, right?
Right.
So I've kind of learned as I've been going, and so yes, I use it for spell check and for grammar check and making sure that I'm getting my point across so it's clear. It's clarity. I don't know how many times I ask AI, fix the clarity in the sentence. Like I know what I'm trying to say. I don't think the person's going to know what I'm trying to say. So so definitely something that is a game changer in any business. And then sometimes I get an email from somebody and it's not for my business. Maybe it's from somebody I'm doing a volunteer project with or something, because I do a lot of volunteer work with my daughter. And she sends me an email, or the whole group an email, to talk about like what we're going to cover in the meeting. And it's full of typos. It doesn't make sense. It's exactly how she's talking. And I'm like, oh, can you just like run this through AI really quick and clean it up before you send it out? Because it would make so much more sense. Like I wouldn't need all this fluff over here confusing me. Just tell me what I need to know. So I do see that a lot too. And then sometimes you get something that's super AI. You're like, okay, could you have changed this a little bit to where it's not so much
copy paste. Yeah.
So we're all learning, and we're all kind of, we're all stumbling through it. But then sometimes I see like my kids struggling, or my daughter with like staying up late at night. She's like, I still have to write this paper, and here's my outline. It's going to take me forever. And I'm like, oh, AI could do that for you, but I can't tell you that because that's not how you learn. Like you have to stay up late and learn how to do it. But so I can see how kids struggle with that, like, and then her kids eventually I don't even know how they're going to police AI with that in schools when those kids are, I don't even know. But yes, it is a very helpful tool, but it can be misused, and it can be used great, good and bad, right? So
and it tests your trust. So as far as like, how do you learn to, or I guess for me, like I like it because it creates a thought partner that you don't normally have. So depending on how you communicate with it, you can communicate with it like a normal human. So from a business standpoint, I can utilize it to help me run my business or to make my decisions. My son, I've actually encouraged him to run his business. He wanted to start his business. So a lot of it he's done through AI, but he's having conversations to teach him what he doesn't know. I mean, he just graduated a year and a half ago. And he's about a year, maybe 9 months into this business that he decided he wanted to start and has utilized it. So I think there's a lot of things that you can use it for, but there's also, if you're not careful, it can create, you talk clarity, but it can create some trust issues. Have you seen anything that you've come across that has created that?
Yeah. So like, it's funny when you meet people at networking events and they hand you like their business card or something with their picture on it. It's a totally different person. And you're like, this is not you. Like, are you sure this is you? And so for me, that's kind of a red flag. Like, why would I trust this person if they're not even putting their real self out there? And so that, to me, those over-touched AI pictures, when they're trying to use them as a headshot or a professional and they look nothing like it, that for me is a red flag trust issue right there. When they just copy paste anything out of AI, when I get those spammy emails, like, let me tell you about my business. And you have all these emojis and the dashes and all the things, and it's just copy pasted. So tell me about your business, use AI to describe it, but give it your own words, like let it be you speaking, just clean it up. That's all I really use it for as far as like my communication. I mean, I have met with people who have said, they could write scripts for me to cut my workload in half. And, so that I'm considering as well, is just kind of using AI to kind of help cut our workload down as far as inputting, stuff like that. So I know it's very powerful and it can do all those things. You just have to find the right person to help you with that. And so that'll be next for us, just to kind of go and start using it to kind of help us cut our workload down so we can be out more in the community and learn and meeting people and networking and stuff like that. So I know it's out there. Just need to find the right person to trust to do it for us.
No, and it's funny because it's not the glamour shots anymore. It's like AI glamour shots,
Oh my gosh.
And I see it all the time.
Didn't even have hair in real life, and a full head of hair where I was like, oh my goodness. Like, at least put a picture of yourself in there to make it match it a little bit.
Yeah. I promise right now, if you see pictures of me on my cards and on my businesses and stuff, or if, like when I'm at school, you'll see my picture will pop up on my email. This is not AI, just shaved. I promise. It's not AI.
Well,
Look,
I feel bad too because work from home, so I hardly ever dress up. And so, when if you do see me on the fly, you're like, "Wait, that's not you," and I'm like, "It's me. It's
it's
just
me.
I'm not dressed up."
Yeah. So as far as technologies within the business realm that you're in, are you seeing any, because you do branding and stuff, so there's got to be some type of technology that's there. So what type of technology are you seeing within the business area that you're in, your expertise?
Yeah.
And do you see anybody else using AI? If not, just tell us a little bit about the technology and how it helps your businesses.
Sure. So we're branding. So our business is putting your logo, your brand on a
Hmm.
product, some sort of product. So, everybody knows what screen print is, everybody knows what laser etching is, but then there's starting to become more variations of those things. So now there's like leather patch engraving, and there's wood engraving, and then there's digital transfers, and then there's direct printing on garments, and then this is cleaner than screen print, but just as good, or this is worse, or this is so. There's lots of different options out there that we are learning about that are either can help our client as far as if they're trying to improve the vibrancy of their branding, their colors, or the longevity of their products, or if they're like, I just need something quick, cheap, and just get it out there, then we kind of know what technology to go in that direction. So lots of different types of decoration methods that we're learning about, and even like machines, like different types of machines that do these things.
Hmm.
And so eventually, stuff will just start growing. So yeah, lots of different technologies out there for branding.
Have
And so
you
what
ever?
we do,
Yeah.
yeah, we
Go
just
ahead. No.
find them. Yeah, our customer will tell us what they're looking for, and we're a
Mhm.
white glove service. So like I say, I don't even know what I need. I'm going to a golf tournament, and I need to give out a bunch of stuff at a golf tournament. So
Mhm.
we have a whole little presentation dedicated to golf tournaments, and we recommend like the golf balls, the tees, the towels, the ball markers, the divot fixers, all those things. And you can brand all that kind of stuff, and then those are things that people are going to reuse, and we want to make sure they're good quality so they can keep them. So yeah,
Right.
so we do that. So we can recommend all that kind of stuff.
What about logos? Do you guys help with logos as if somebody doesn't have one for their brand?
We do, yes, absolutely. So sometimes people will come to us and they're like, I put my thoughts and I generated an AI logo and I want to put it all over
That's what, yeah,
everything.
okay, that's where I'm going.
But AI gives you a very low resolution image. It is extremely detailed, and it is not something that's going to print well or laser etch well. And that
Mhm.
is what I'm running into a lot is they'll send me their logo and it's just an AI image with a background. So it's got the white behind it, and it's I can't use it. And I'm
Right.
like, this is beautiful. However, I can't use this. Like I need the old school graphic artist to create the
Mhm.
design files in Adobe Illustrator, and it needs to be high resolution, clear background, and they're just not understanding that. They're like, well, I just put it in AI. It's an image. It's my
Yeah.
logo.
Yeah.
But when you blow up a logo that's this big and you put it on a shirt and you want it this big, it's going to be completely distorted.
Exactly.
So we have a team that will do that for you. So it can take your idea. I love the ideas from AI. So you can show me like, okay, it's an ice cream cone, it's this and that. I can get the ideas and then we can redraw it to look what it needs to be done. And so we have that ability. So that's an option that we offer. So if you need logo creation,
Mhm.
or if
Mhm.
you have no idea, we can help you design a whole campaign if that's what you're looking for. We can do brand kits. We can do all those things that people are needing.
So
So whatever level of where you are on your marketing and your branding
yeah.
strategy, we can help
Yeah.
you.
So as far as technology using that, because that's awesome to know. But when you're using the technology, are you pretty much are you guys still kind of an old school technology for actually making the brand? Or is it newer?
What do you mean? Like the software that you use to make the logos,
Yeah,
or?
yeah, okay, yeah. So you have a software that you have to be able. So if somebody sends you an AI, let me make sure I get this correct. If somebody sends you an AI image, you're able to put it into this and actually alter it to where it's in the image that you have, or do you have to recreate?
So the artist has to recreate it.
Okay,
Yeah,
the
we
artist
have
has
to
to.
have
Yeah,
our artist recreate it. Yeah, so it's old school drawing, and
that's
it's
what I
not
meant.
like pencil drawing, but it's how we used to use Illustrator. Illustrator keeps
Okay.
getting updated every year.
Hmm.
Photoshop is another way people edit those images. But
Hmm.
when you have an AI image that you just created in or created a quick image in Canva, like that's not what we need. We need an actual graphic art file, a vector high resolution file.
Yeah.
So that's a challenge that we're coming across with a lot of our small businesses, a lot of our mom and pop shops that are like, I just have this logo and I created it in AI and I just want this all over everything, which is fine if it's like a pen or a business card or a little squishy ball or something tiny. But when they're like, I need a whole 20-foot banner, well, that's not going to work. So we have to figure out. So I usually will make sure they understand that ahead of time, because if I start giving them the little things that they want, and then all of a sudden they want a giant thing, and I'm like, well, I can't use your logo all of a sudden, then that doesn't really bode well for my trust. So I kind of tell them up front, like, sure, we can do little things, but we're not going to be able to do anything bigger than this with this logo. And so we can talk about redesigning it and kind of, and it's very close. It's just not going to be exact. And also, people just don't understand sometimes the busyness of a logo doesn't do well on decoration. So you want to keep your logos very clean. But yeah, I could go down
because it's no. Okay. All right. So have you come across, as far as technology? We're getting close to the end of the second segment. So as far as technology and we'll kind of tie it back into trust. Has there ever been an area or a time where you were very reluctant to trust the technology or something you were getting from the technology, yet the outcome ended up being very positive?
Yeah, sometimes when we order things from our suppliers, the image that they provide, the mock-up, it's just an AI image,
So
it's
hard to trust it. Yeah.
Yeah, like, is this going to be good quality? I've never ordered from this person before, and I'm not really sure. So we try to request samples, but sometimes the customer is like, I need this in like 1 week tops. And so we don't have time to like research. We just got to get it done. And so, yeah, sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, I just cannot wait till I get that product in to make sure it actually looks like what I told the customer it was going to look like, and sometimes you'll get it and you're like, well, that didn't work out well. And sometimes you'll get it, you're like, well, this is great. This is even better than I thought. So sometimes when you're spending a lot or it's a big order and you have time, they'll actually make you a production sample, which is great. And send you a picture. That's ideal. But sometimes, you got to just like hope and a prayer, make sure it looks good.
Well, and sometimes it does. So most of the time, you're telling me it turns out positive.
Yeah. It's just trusting, like, okay, they've been doing this. They're a preferred vendor for a reason. We're just going to go with it. And that's who we're working with. We're not finding randos on the street like, hey, print me this. Like, we have a whole set of preferred vendors that we work with. So, but again, it's nice to see a real production sample. So you can tell your customer with confidence, it's going to look great. It's going to look like this, so.
No, that's awesome. Look, let's so setting up the third segment. Thank you for listening to the podcast, What Makes You Tick. Vanessa and Jada in spirit and I are having an authentic, purposeful conversation on trust, clarity, and traction, and how it impacts our personal lives and business. If you have any questions or comments, if you're out there listening, we'd love to have you engage. If you have anything for Vanessa, please ask. We'll share their contact information later. Is there any takeaway that you'd like to share so far in our discussion, Vanessa? Is there anything that you'd like to share quickly with the audience from anything we've discussed?
Oh, goodness. Well, I think definitely having a support system you can trust, and you can trust to give you clarity when you need it, when you're lost in the woods, when you're stuck and you just cannot see the big picture. I think that's the number one thing that is really beneficial for anyone who's thinking about starting a business or chasing a dream. You really need to have a really great support system that offers you the clarity that you need and the trust. Yeah.
So no, it's a great lead in, because the next thing I want to talk about is, like, trust and clarity are important, but we get tested in a good way sometimes when we don't know it. Has there ever been a situation or a person in your life that has opened your mind through testing the trust and clarity within the situation? So is there any situation or any person that's ever in your life made a big impact, and it was a lot of testing of the trust and clarity?
I'm sure there is. Well,
who's made the biggest impact on your life?
Oh gosh, it's too many. I have so many people that I admire that are just so brilliant in their fields, and then I look up to them and I'm like, wow, you guys are just amazing. I've taken this risk because I've seen you can do it. Like, so lots of people, I really, I
know I'm
feel
putting you on
like
the spot. I know.
yeah, I didn't study for this one. I'm sorry. I think it was really when we started the business, the people that we met that gave us all of the pointers and like,
Yeah.
this is where I would recommend, and this is what I would recommend, and this is what I would recommend. And then we just kind of looked at it and said, like, which way do we want to go? And which path are we going to take? And then we started down a path, and then maybe we met somebody else and they were like really insightful on different things. And they're like, you should try this path. And so we just kind of have gone through and just met different people in different fields of expertise, anywhere from AI, oil and gas, technology, LinkedIn specialists, like all kinds of people that have helped us on our journey that we couldn't have been here without. So I think just in general, just meeting professionals that you admire and that you've met and that can offer just their insight and their wisdom is something that has been really beneficial for us.
Yeah. So that kind of brings up a thought here. I know through my experience, there's been a lot of people that have, with education within a business, there's been a lot of people that have made an impact within my life. But building your business as an entrepreneur from where you're coming from, is it important to get people that are within the realm that you're going or focus on or have some experience, or is it better to get experience from everybody else that's around you, even if they haven't been part of the business you're going?
So yeah, I think it's the latter. I think it's just anybody who's been successful and who has experience in any type of field, whether they've started their own business or they've been in marketing or they've been in promotionals. When we first started, we about technology and AI, and I was like, or medicine, like technology and medicine, and I'm like, how is this going to really fit our?
Yeah.
I wasn't seeing it, and that was one thing I love about Jada is that she was always good at kind of seeing like, this may not be what we do, but we're going to meet people, learn about what they do, and learn different technologies and things that are out there, fields that we didn't even know existed, that where we may be able to plug in or we may be able to learn from. So that to me was really interesting in the beginning when I couldn't see, like, I thought I only had to surround myself with people that did what I did. But it's not at all. I think I've learned more from others who have no idea what I do, and I barely know what they do, but we talk about it and we find the common ground, and really there's a lot of similarities. So in the back end of a business. So yeah, so I think learning from all the different fields has been one of the most beneficial things, and just learning about what else is out there. And eventually, like you said, you'll meet somebody, you'll plug in and they'll be like, okay. And then before you know it, you're doing everybody's nurse uniform at this hospital over there because you were just so happened to be at a technology and medicine conference. And you're like, oh, look at how that worked out. So no, I think it's great to meet other people. You don't want to be in a echo chamber of just like your own field and your own. You want to kind of branch out and see what other people are doing and saying.
Right. No, and it helps to create different perspectives. Like if people that see the way you do have a very similar perspective, it might be 180 degrees, but it's still a very similar perception going in a similar direction. But when you have somebody that has no clue of what you're doing, but you have a conversation and they can understand the conversation, it can create clarity on the backside because they're looking at it a completely different way.
Yeah, and they can bring ideas to the table that you never even thought of, or technologies, or even like you could cut that time in half by doing this or going to talk to this person. And it's like, really? Let me go see what this person has to say. And then like learn so much. I think that's been a really exciting part of this journey, is meeting different people in different industries and learning more about those industries and just what they do in general. And then in turn, just meeting people and making the connections. So definitely meeting other people.
So what about, so that's the positive. What about a negative situation? So like for me, and I'll go back to this all the time because I grew from it. For me, a negative moment that happened in my life was my divorce, because I was a family man. It was one of those things where, I had the family and it caught me by surprise. And I've seen plenty of people go through it, and most people go through it and they come out negative, the negative mindset, mouthing everything. And I didn't want to be that. But at the same time, I didn't want to be divorced. So it was a negative situation. From that, I mean, that was over 10 years ago. It was almost 11 years ago, I guess now. And from that, I became a better father. I became a better business person. I became a better, it created honestly, it created a better me. And it was something that was negative, a negative moment that was in my life. And it changed everything from my business, the way I ran my business, to the way I look at my kids in school, to the way I looked at my own kids, everything. It just changed everything in a positive way because I let it. What about you? Do you have anything, business or life, that was very negative that helped to create a positive change within your life?
Yes, absolutely. So it's my fitness journey. I used to post a lot about it, but 5 years ago, I was overweight and I hated exercising. The thought of going for a walk, much less a run, was just like appalling. My husband was extremely fit. He was running marathons. He was doing half Ironmans. And I was just like, this is so dumb. Like, why are you doing this? Like, no. And then I have a family history of heart disease. And my mother had a heart attack when she was 47. And my grandmother died of a massive heart attack, had quadruple bypass. My great grandmother, quadruple bypass, massive heart attack. My aunts, everybody. And it became a point of contention in our marriage. It was like, you've got to take care of yourself. You're not healthy. It wasn't anything about my parents at all. My husband's been extremely supportive of me, but it's just, he's very active, and he's like, I don't want you to be wheelchair bound by the time you're like 50 and I'm ready to be in the prime of my life. Like, I want to do this together. Like, help me out. And I just was refused. And he would try to like set up these little, like, hey, there's this workout group, you should go check it out. No, you're crazy. So anyways, he joined a men's fitness group, and he was working out like 5-7 days a week at like 4 a.m. And I was like, you're nuts. Like, there's no way. Like, what are you doing at 4 a.m? I was always negative Nancy. And then the women's group to this men's group came to our neighborhood, and a friend said, we should check out this women's group. And I was like, oh, this is the group my husband's been trying to get me to join. So I was like, fine, we'll go check it out. So we went, and it was his birthday weekend. So I was like, okay, I'll go. It's his birthday present. I'll just go work out. He'll be so proud of me. So I went, and I fell in love with it. And I was like, wow, okay, I feel like I belong. I feel like I need to work out. Oh, back up. Before that, I had gone to the doctor, and I did have high cholesterol. So
same. I had the same thing.
The problem was starting. So I was like, I have to do something. So I went. I fell in love with this workout group, and I became immediately obsessed with it. And this was about, almost 2.5 years ago. And I work out 3 days a week at 4 a.m. or 4:30. I go Saturdays. I started running half marathons. I've run 2. I just signed up for the full marathon. I'm extremely active, and I have my cholesterol under control with diet, exercise, and I do have to take medication because my familial history is so strong. But it completely changed our marriage, my relationship with my kids, my relationship with fitness, my desire to be healthy, longevity. It helped propel my business. You would think I would be more exhausted because I'm working out so much, but it's amazing.
Energy's better. Your energy is so much better.
And our relationship now, we bond about fitness and running, and he's so supportive in that as well. Like, he lets me go run my long runs. I never thought in my life I would run 13.1 miles, not once, but twice, like nonstop. And so that to me has just been an incredible transformation for me in my 40s, which has been a game changer in, like I said, everything: business, personal, friendships, sisterhood. I met this great group of women, and you don't realize you do need friends. You're like, I'm 40, I don't need friends. I've got my besties and I'm good. But having this group of women to support you no matter what has just been amazing. So they helped support when we started our business together. Like, Jada's in the same workout group, and we just gotten the most support from them. And so it has been an incredible, life-changing one workout. I went, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a chance. But I had to do something because my health was literally at 41, they were like, your cholesterol's too high. You've got to do something. And you're just going to continue taking more and more medication. And I didn't want to take so much medication in my 40s.
Same.
So started with the fitness journey. And yeah, tomorrow I got to be up at 3:50, be there at 4:30 so I can run. And then actually Jada is in our group and she's leading our group tomorrow morning. So I'll see her in the morning. And it's been really, really a game changer. So yeah.
I completely relate to that because I went through the same exact thing. I went to my doctor. He said, your LDL's I'm going to have to put you on cholesterol medicine. I went, no, what if I do this? Literally, I went back 2 months. He goes, you're good. I went, I know. All I did was change my diet and I started working out. And as a matter of fact, doing that, like my Monday routine, once I get off of this is I'll go run 3 miles. That's my normal
That's
routine.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I can't run in the evening. I cannot run in the evening. It has to be done in the morning before my brain realizes I'm crazy.
I can't run in. Now I'll listen to my books. I tell people this all the time. I'll listen to books. I used to listen to music. Then I started listening to books. And now it's crazy. You're going to laugh when you hear this. I'll go run my 3 miles. Usually I do 5. I'll do like run 3 and walk 2, depending on what time it is. But right now I've got 3 miles because I've got stuff to do. But I'll go put in my earbuds. I'll listen to my Audible. I'll have my Google Doc open. And when I get thoughts that I like, I'll actually, as I'm running, speak into it. And I have this documentation of all these books. I'm on, I think, book number 28 doing this. And it's pretty crazy. And it's funny. So, and what I want to do, and it's 1 book a month. And what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to run this through AI and I'm going to sum it up so I can actually make it more impactful than what I'm doing right now. I know.
That's really a good idea. So I've listened to podcasts running because sometimes you get bored of the same music all the time, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, I've heard this playlist a million times. Yeah. So I started doing podcasts and then I actually started trying to watch a show, like listen to a show that I liked but the screen, if I bumped it wrong, the screen would go black and then it would turn off and it was frustrating. So I need to look at a book to listen to while I run because, running 9 miles is boring. And that's the part that's like, I'm bored. I need to do something else. So, I need to look into that. But the book I highlighted today, that's what I did. And I was really into AI. So I took a lot of notes. I think I've got like 30 pages of notes just on it. Now I'm like, what am I going to do with 30 pages of notes? So I got to go. Look, we're getting close to the end here. But what I do want to do is I always in my show, because with the youth, I think our youth are important. And I'm like you, like, I don't like the direction our youth are going. And I like, we as parents have to take blame for that because we're the ones that you see parents walking around with earbuds. You see kids walking around with earbuds consistently. We're so disconnected. Stop being disconnected. But as far as advice, because trust and clarity are huge. The new generation, what would you give advice on how important trust and clarity are for them and how to build it? Oh, I think it's very important. I mean, I would say find yourself a really good mentor that you can trust. It shouldn't be your parents. It shouldn't be a family member. It should be somebody who you trust and you admire and who can give you just be a sounding board. Just you can tell them how you're feeling about a business decision or an educational decision, and they're going to be able to help you kind of think through your options, not steer you in one way or the other, not trying to sway you to their beliefs, but just listen. And you trust them to give you their honest opinion or give you the honest options and then support you whatever path you go down. So I think finding a good mentor, even as an adult, finding a mentor was really helpful in starting my business. Our businesses was just finding somebody who could kind of, I've been there, I've done that, I've seen this, I know what you're going through. Like, here's what I did. And then you just think about what they did and how can you relate. So
that's great. And it's important for young kids to, when they do go in and have a mentor, is to trust their gut, because a lot of times they're missing that in their life. So they just find the first person and they go after it. It's important to be able to find and trust your own self to be able to do that. Because if you find toxic people, but they bring you in, why don't you just go drink poison? I mean, you're not going to drink poison. It has the same toxicity, but understanding how to trust. I think our youth really miss that and they trust things that they shouldn't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Don't find somebody who's going to tell you what to do or sway you, but just help you kind of talk through your options and then let you pick your own path, and then that's what you need, And lastly, just be kind. Treat others with kindness the way you want to be treated. So.
Love that. No, absolutely. Look, please, let's connect. Follow the show live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and now I'll have it recorded. I'll download it on Spotify. Vanessa, please share how people can get in touch with you through LinkedIn or whatever with you and Jada and your business.
Yeah. Yes, you can reach us both at info@houstonapparelco.com, and you can go to houstonapparelco.com to check out our website and see all of our offerings, and just let us know if we can help with anything. We can provide quotes and work with you anytime.
Yeah. And I'm going to go for my run, and then I'll post this. So
Okay.
I'm sure I'll have her add that to the post in the comments. So please make sure you look for that on the posting. Look, thank you for being my guest on What Makes You Tick.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. It was an honor and a pleasure. Thank you.
No, it's great. Look, let's go out and make an impact in the lives and the communities through trust, clarity, and traction. Let's be transitional over transactional. You can find me on LinkedIn. Stay connected for future episodes, deeper conversations with these people. Ma'am, I was going to say ladies, ma'am, because Jada's in spirit. It's been amazing. Look, find my friends on LinkedIn, connect with them. If you need something for your business, trust them and reach out to them and let them know. Today is the end of season 1 of What Makes You Tick, and it's been really amazing. Look for season 2 later this summer, and I may have some special episodes. I've got some people in mind. I may have a special episode here between now and then. What an amazing season it's been. I've been blessed, and I thank all of you for being a part of it. Go out and make an impactful week. Enjoy your family. See ya.